Hello and welcome to the Winter 2020 season finale of That Anime Pod. This is your seasonal anime recap show brought to you by That Nerdy Site. I'm your host, Christian Puente, aka PixelBrave. If you like what you hear, you can find me on Twitter, at PixelBrave, sharing personal projects, general pop culture talk. Follow the show, at That Anime Pod, for any updates on what I'm watching as far as anime and stuff like that. And this show, again, is made possible thanks to That Nerdy Site. You can find more content from the rest of the crew on our main site, thatnerdysite.com. If you'd like to support us, you can find us on Patreon as That Nerdy Site. And, of course, you can find us on Twitter at That Nerdy Site. So, lots of plugs. Thanks again for joining me this week, and let's recap some anime. So, winter 2020 is over. We're going to start the spring. A few episode ones for other shows have made their way onto the queue already. So here's our final recap with some of the shows that I picked for this winter 2020 as we say farewell. I overall enjoyed those pretty good seasons, nice selections. The first show that I have to say goodbye to is Haikyu to the top, or aka Haikyu Season 4. It's currently to be continued. I'm assuming it's not just going to pick right back up in the spring, so I don't know how much there's a wait before we get new episodes, but yeah, it's currently on hiatus, and yeah, it kind of stops right in the middle of a match against Inarizaki, one of the top tier teams that they're going to be having to go against. And we've got the twins that are kind of taking center stage against Karasuno. I think the name of the characters or the players, anyways, these twin players, it's Atsumi, I think. But they were in the junior camp with Kageyama, and so they already know each other. And he's the one that kind of pushed Kageyama to kind of be like, hey, like. He kind of got under his skin a little bit. He says that he called him, quote unquote, a goody two shoes, which I don't know if that's a weird translation or something, but I think what Kageyama got out of it was that he kind of will more accommodate other people instead of pushing them to what they can actually do. So he had a kind of an impact on Kageyama, and now they're playing against each other. So they're a powerhouse team, and yeah, so I'm really excited to see how the rest of the match progresses. Another show that ended was Richard Jeweler, that had the last episode for episode 12. Seigi, his dad, returned and was kind of trying to approach Seigi for money. I guess he got in with some loan sharks or something, and just answering the wrong people. And yeah, so he's going after Seigi to try to get some help, but Seigi's trying to he doesn't really want anything to do with his dad. He thought he'd go to his mom and be like, hey, what's up, but apparently she's kind of on the dad's side too, and it's kind of like, doesn't really see a big deal out of it, but like Seigi was like hella traumatized, and so he doesn't want to have anything to do with his dad, and he doesn't want to have to involve Richard in all this, even though Seigi does everything he can to help Richard whenever he can, and so obviously the reverse would be true too, but that's just, not true to his character, and so he keeps things to himself, but of course, nothing gets past Richard, and so he finds out what's going on, and brings in Seigi's stepfather to step in, and it's a really nice, cool, heartwarming way to end things, where the last arc before we ended was Seigi going to England. He traveled to Europe to go save Richard in a sense, and so of course it was nice to get wrap up the show with Richard repaying that favor, and the two of them will continue being lifelong friends, I'm guessing. From what I understand, the novels keep going, but the anime I think is going to stop here. But yeah, it was cool. I mentioned this, I think, at the very beginning of the season, that I really like that there are these mystery files. It's very much this Holmes and Watson kind of, Sherlock kind of vibe. All the different clients that come in about these jewels end up, having very interesting stories and reasons why, they're in there. And yeah, this was a fun show to watch. So I'm glad I gave it a shot, and yeah, it was nice. Actually, this one, it's just now hitting me that the next anime, the third one, 22/7, is not ended, actually. It's on its 8th episode, I believe. I think this one, started a bit later into the season, so this is one of the very few ones that is still on the on my queue. I think that'll still be in rotation for about another 4 weeks, maybe. In this most recent episode, it focuses on a character called Akane, who is usually the more calm and reserved character. They seem kind of a bit more intellectual and a bit more mature, the way they handle themselves. And this episode was all about that and how they used to be, as a kid, a lot more rambunctious and whatnot and mischievous, but that, that kind of outgoing personality got her in big trouble, like life-threatening trouble, and it kind of destroyed her family. And so that's why she changed and took on this new persona of being, a lot more stoic. And so, 22/7 continues to do a pretty good job of just having these one-off episodes that focus on a different character in the show, and we're making the rounds. I think we have about 4 more characters that we haven't really spent a lot of time with, and I'm curious to see where that goes from here on out. So those are 3 anime that I've been following up on. Haikyu, thank you so much for all your feels and memories. I will see you whenever you're back. Richard Jeweler, thank you again for the good times. I will not be seeing you likely again. And 22/7, I will see you next week because you are still on the air because you started late. So that's some of my seasonal anime recap for the winter, and we'll be back next episode again with the new spring offerings. I don't know if I'll keep talking about 22/7 in the spring, but if it keeps going, then I don't see why not. I might just check in maybe when the season ends. But that's on my anime recap, and let's talk about some industry news next. So, to give some context, right now, a lot of people are placed in shelter because of the coronavirus that's going around. It's very contagious. A lot of people are staying indoors. It's definitely affected a lot of people around the world in a lot of ways, and of course, affecting industries. And that's not the actual news. The news here is a symptom of it. There's a lot of urgency. The best way to we're not going to get political or anything, but pretty much the best way to fight corona is to just kind of stay indoors, because if it doesn't spread, the virus doesn't go anywhere. And there's a lot of countries having trouble here in the U.S., of course, as well, here in my own hometown as well. It's hard to keep people inside and enforce social distancing just good practices. And so anime is doing its part. One Piece put out a PSA. For those unfamiliar, One Piece is an anime, a very popular anime, one of the most popular animes in the world. And there was a little short that went out today on Twitter, a little short animation of I don't watch One Piece myself. I did finally peek at the first few episodes, but by the first few, I'm talking about like the first 3 episodes, and so I'm not very familiar with these characters at all. But at least Luffy, the main character, and a few of others alongside him showed up in his animated PSA to kind of let kids know, hey, we guys, right now, what's really important is to be safe, be clean, and do your part. And that's I haven't seen something like that in a while. I mean, growing up in like the 80s and 90s, you saw like some of that, like some Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon characters or whatever talking about like don't do drugs, don't forest fires and this and that, and gun violence and cigarettes. But I have not seen cartoon characters, or in this case anime characters, have to be put out for a PSA like ever. So that's it was really interesting, and so I just wanted to share that just as a bit of a timestamp. I'm not sure if that's the right term, but that's kind of what's going on. Corona definitely having its effect all around, and so the anime industry has not, that has not gone unnoticed in the anime industry. So thank you, One Piece, for sharing that good message, and we will all do our best to comply with best practices to stay safe. That way we can all sit home, safely, and keep watching some anime. Now, I'm very excited for what's next. I have a returning guest, Tortilla Senpai, to talk with me about My Hero Academia Season 4. So let's cut to that now. Okay, and we're back now. And now I'm joined by Tortilla Senpai. Thanks for coming back to talk about more My Hero with us.
It is always good to talk more My Hero. Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, last time we had caught up, it was about the halfway point of the fourth season, and we've been talking about the overhaul arc,
Hmm.
and now we finished the school festival arc, which also ties in with the whole general criminal as the new villain. And yeah, I figured why not have you back, and we can talk about these wonderful good boys and girls of Class 1A again and all their crazy misadventures. And so, for anyone who maybe missed that episode or just needs a fresh reminder, remind everybody like who you are, where you're from, what you do.
Oh, me? Haha.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
Well, I am Tortilla Senpai on Twitch and Twitter. I stream pretty much every single day, basically like 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I've been streaming lately a lot of like Resident Evil, playing a bunch of like retro games. Well, not retro, but the remake. And oof, I can't wait for this Friday that Final Fantasy VII remake.
I've been watching some of the playing of the original,
Yeah,
that's gotten me into the mood to play the original again too. Well, actually finish because like I'm about a third of the way through the game.
a third. Ooh, you got a lot.
Yeah, so I still got a lot to play, but fortunately none of that's going to be in the remake that's coming out so far.
Well,
Oh wait, maybe I don't know. I
maybe
guess
no.
we'll see.
Like, what part are you at?
Um,
Are you past the Midgar?
I'm past Midgar.
Okay. Do you know what part past Midgar?
Yeah, I've met Sid.
Oh shit! Wow. Yeah. Well, you're where I just got to Sid.
Oh, okay, that's where I'm at then. Okay, cool.
You
Well,
finished.
that's where I last left off. Like I just met him, I think.
Oh, so he joined your party. Wow.
I don't think he's joined my party even. I think we just had like a cinematic or something.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Oh my god, I love Sid. Sid's like my
Okay,
man.
so
He's so
I'm looking
cool.
forward to that.
He's so cool.
If this ever becomes a gaming podcast too, we'll have to have you on for
Oh
the
heck
review of
yeah.
Final
Oh,
Fantasy.
absolutely. I'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But
Well, let's get to my hero.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm glad to have you again. You're a Twitch streamer. Go check out those streams and everything. Get in the chat, cool emotes and all that jazz.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, let's get into my hero. So this new arc introduced two new, very interesting, quirky villains. Yeah, we got. Am I saying this right? La Brava. Like,
La Brava.
that's
Yeah.
La Brava, who is the assistant to Gentle Criminal. And well, let me ask. Like a really cool reason why I like having you on is because you have the experience that you read the manga of this person too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to ask, like, how do they, how did the what did you think of the interpretation of
I
it?
think they did it really well. Like the interpretation, the adaptation did a phenomenal job. I actually liked the anime version of this little arc better than in the manga.
Oh, nice.
Like way better. Like they did it so well. I loved it.
Is this like in the manga? Like just talking about the arc in general of the whole school festival thing. Is it like shorter? It seems like the kind of thing that would be kind of short in the manga, or does it actually take a full? Is it like a pretty meaty?
Yeah, it felt pretty short in the manga reading it. But I was reading it like chapter after chapter, not like episode after episode. But it actually did take like a good chunk of. It took literally half of season 4. Well, most of season 4, or like half of season 4, like the second half,
I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
But it actually felt way longer than reading it for sure, and I actually like that about that.
Yeah, I liked that I got a good dose of like time just with General Criminal, like before he even meets Deku. He doesn't meet Deku till like the last few episodes.
I know,
so,
right?
Like, you get little peeks of him just like doing his own thing, and then you also get plenty of just the school time. And so I think since I'm assuming they let it last a bit longer, or they spread it out a bit wider. I'm not sure if I'm putting that right, but I hope you get what I mean. I guess we get more moments with the criminals and the students. So I really liked so far this, and I'm guessing, and not I'm guessing, I'm getting a lot tongue tied because I'm just so excited about this.
No, you're good.
But but in general terms, even just whether it's from the manga or the anime, like what did you think of this arc? Because I feel like I've been seeing like mixed response. Like some people are kind of like, oh, this is filler, and there's some of the stuff that I was asking you like last time when we were about to go into it. I was asking your impressions about it, but we couldn't get too much into it because those episodes hadn't started, and so we were trying to stay spoiler free. But now that we are, like, the whole season's over, so we can talk about anything. You can talk a bit more freely about like, your overall impressions about this part. Like, like some people thought it was filler or not needed or just kind of, and like, did you get that impression?
Oh no, I love that. I think everything was needed. I feel like with Gentle Criminal, he's not. It's hard to live up to Overhaul. Like, how do you compare to that after? But
he has a completely different goal too.
Yeah.
Like Overhaul is trying to make giant waves, very dramatically,
Literally
in a
changing
way,
the world, basically.
yeah, and General Criminal is trying to make a bit more local,
He wants to be
change.
known.
He wants to be known, but also the things that he affects, like the whole grocery store. That was a local thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and Deku was talking about how he brings awareness to like local problems. I guess. I think that's how he worded it. Instead of big change, he's like, "Hey, something's wrong with this over here, so I'm gonna like cause a crime that brings awareness to that." I think that's how I remember Deku describing it. So I thought that was interesting too. That he wasn't trying to go big world change. He was kind of like doing small bits and pieces. So I thought that was interesting.
I kind of thought differently. Like he wanted to be known, but his like view count was hella low. So I'm just like,
well, he did want to be known, but I felt like the things he was trying to affect or the things he was trying to change, like
more internally things,
were a bit smaller scale. For example, just like the whole plan on UA was just infiltrate. Like, haha, like I got through. Like it wasn't like I'm gonna ruin it. I'm gonna take over.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kidnap kids. Like it was just like I'm gonna show that like UA is vulnerable because I'm gonna have La Brava take care of security and we're gonna get in. Like we're gonna get past the gates.
Yeah, I was kind of confused. Like in the manga, it's like, what are they trying to do at UA? But like
it's just making statements. Mm-hmm. Is that how I interpreted it?
Oh, that's good. I didn't think about it like that. Dang.
Oh.
Smart.
But he's So I just want to talk about a little bit my thoughts some more on these new villains. General Criminal himself, he's super charming and funny. Like I can't help but kind of like wish that he were more. Well, I was gonna say I wish he were more of an anti-hero, but I guess he kind of is because like anytime he commits a crime, he doesn't like kind of talking about that grocery store place again, that corner store that he robbed. He robbed it and then left the money, right?
Yeah, he didn't do anything.
Because it was more about making a statement, and so like he is kind of like a weird anti-hero. Like he's not a villain, but he's not a hero.
He's not a stain, but he's not a all for one sort of.
Yeah. So he's interesting, but I just love his whole overly dramatic presentation, like
with the tea time and everything like that.
Yeah. Like he has. I don't know.
He was just weird. He was weird.
He's weird, but he's also strangely charismatic too. Like I would probably subscribe to him. Yeah.
That's funny.
And he's got this, I don't know if you call it partner, sidekick, La Brava,
mm-hmm.
who we find out way, way, way later into the season that like her quirk is
what was it?
What do you call it?
Love, yes.
Yeah. That's a super interesting quirk. I kind of really like it. My hero is so weird. Like I've been rewatching from the beginning of the first season again, and I got to the part where the teachers come to save the kids mm-hmm. for the first time. Like All Might's almost gonna get taken out by Shigaraki and that warp guy, and then the heroes come at the last time, and I'm just seeing these quirks again of like the dude that vomits plasma that turns into his clones. Like the quirks in the show are just so super weird, and like. I guess like La Brava like is another like really fantastic example of that. It's like like the more I love someone, the stronger I make them.
It's very well thought out. Like I feel like the way Horikoshi like makes any sort of like story or villain, I feel like he thinks about the ending before he even writes the beginning. Like I know exactly what this person's gonna do and how they're gonna go down or how they're gonna go up or either or. So. Like, part of me thinks, like, does he already have the idea for an ending for My Hero? Who knows? But, like...
I want to think he is. We won't get on that for too long, just... But I think I had heard that he didn't want this to be a very long... You know, how One Piece is 700, 800 episodes. Mm-hmm. And stuff like I heard that when he started My Hero, he was intentionally like, hey, I want it to be kind of a short and sweet thing. So I think he had the ending in mind. And then... But like what's going to happen now is it got so popular that now they're going to extend it, mm-hmm. and so I think more stuff's going to be adding into the middle. But I think since he knew that since he originally wanted to be something shorter, I think he still has the idea of what the ending is going to be. It's just going to take us longer to get there.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I'm thinking.
He said like kind of a while ago. He said that it's 2/3 of the way done, or he's finished with it. But I don't want it to be endings anytime soon. I want it to go on for a long time. Part of me does want it to be like a One Piece almost, because I don't know if I want it that long, but I
don't want it that long, but like
I do want it for a couple years, like
just DBZ length.
DBZ length, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, you get like really good arcs and then like peace out.
But yeah,
let's not get GT with it.
Let's not get GT with it. For real.
Yeah. And let's get back to the main dude, General Criminal. Speaking of powers, his was really fun. Like that's what I'm saying. Like everything about this quirk, this character, this villain was fun. He's very dramatic. He has a quirky, weird personality of like being like, yeah, very like a showman. And then to top it off, he has this Looney Tunes of a quirk, which is flexibility.
Making air elastic.
Well,
or something like that.
He makes anything he touches elastic.
Oh, what?
Including the air. He can touch the air and make the air elastic.
Oh yeah, he can make because of the steel beam.
Touches, yeah, and so it's so wacky. Like it reminded me of a Looney Tunes cartoon, the way concrete and steel beams would just start bending and reverberating and like shooting, like bouncing people off everywhere and trampolining. Like I felt like I was watching like a Looney Tunes cartoon. So like it just made, it's not as like serious as like seeing Stain slice through people
right.
or Overhaul like explode someone up like he did to Magna, but like it's still like really cool to watch. Like it's just so different from any of the other villains that we've had Deku or anybody fighting. So I just think it's super cool. I don't know if I asked you, like, do you like them in this pair in general?
In the manga, I didn't, honestly. Mm-hmm. Unlike a lot of people really were hyping up General and La Brava, but I didn't. I was like, man, I didn't like this at all. Like, what a pointless villain. Like, Deku had a cool moment. But in the anime, I actually really cared for them. Like, I was like, oh, this villain is cool. Yeah. Like, seeing them animated is actually really awesome. So I don't know why. Like, certain parts, like, in the manga, like the Overhaul arc, way more than the anime, but like I still loved it, but manga over like the adaptation. But for like the gentle criminal part, I actually enjoyed it way more. Like it made me actually care for them and feel for the guy, for both of them at least. And,
I bet like go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say for like the whole like school festival arc as well. Like it just did it so well. Oh my god, I can't even tell you how much I love this arc.
I was gonna say like speaking of the comparison, like I imagine that like watching in the anime, his powers translate a bit more compared to the manga.
Mm-hmm,
like, since it's actual moving, you see, the effect of like the floor under him bouncing everything off. Like I'm sure it's drawn very well in the manga, but like to actually see like so much of his quirk is very visual too, and so like I think it probably adapted very well.
It's not just jump like punches and kicks,
Yeah. So these are two pretty cool characters. I don't know if we'll ever get to see them in the future. Don't tell me. But they're cool. I like them. They were like with as dark as the overhaul arc got. Like it was nice to have some levity,
Yeah.
And it ended up being like actually I was gonna get into the fight, but we'll get into that when we get into like the. We'll talk about the fight a little bit. Let's actually use this time to kind of pivot into like so we talked about the villains. Let's get into the actual story. I highlighted some of like the bigger talking points. So we'll just kind of like talk about our impressions there. So one of the first like really cool moments that I remember was like the whole challenge of Bakugo and Todoroki having to like win their hero license back, which has all been happening mostly off screen. They come back to the dorms and they're kind of talking about it, but like the only episode we get that we really get to see what they're dealing with is like their graduation exam or their final exam, which is Gang Orca saying like, hey, you gotta wrangle these kids.
Win their hearts.
Yeah, win their hearts. What'd you think of that whole little section?
I thought it was it seemed a lot shorter in the manga, but I actually really liked it, how they did it. Well, they did add some stuff, like like the way they did it was I think a little bit different.
So they didn't. So in the anime, they kind of create like a playscape using all their powers.
It was I think it was different than that. I think, like I said, like I remember I read it like a year and a half ago, away. So I'm just like, how exactly did it happen? But it was like,
but there was enough of a difference to where you noticed that something was.
Something was a little off.
Oh, okay. I might need to go back. Like we had all this quarantine time, so I might go back and just start reading like bits and pieces.
Oh, you should. It's a great story.
The season ended, so like I'm actually gonna use this time to kind of start reading ahead and get caught up.
But, ooh, finally.
Yeah. Which at the end, I maybe before we log off, like maybe we'll ask you to give us like a teaser or something.
Teaser? Oh boy.
Hints for what to expect.
Yeah,
but no, I really like that moment too, because it was Todoroki and Bakugo. They're both very different from each other, but they also fight. They both have very strong offensive attack quirks, and they're being told, hey, like this isn't about attacking something head on. It's about, understanding these kids and understanding that they don't have any faith in y'all at all or in Hero Society at all. They think they're the big bad, which I can relate to because I'm a substitute teacher in my day job, and kids always think that they know everything about anything. They I'll be subbing for like third graders, and they feel like they talk and act like they're like in college and everything. Like,
they do.
Like,
I know.
The world is theirs, which that's cool, But at the same time, they kind of like the message that they were trying to tell them is like, hey, like I'm glad y'all are excited to get started as heroes, but like no rush because we actually got it. Like have faith in us, and that ended up being like I really like that message, and it was really cool seeing Bakugo reach out to like
the main bad guy.
Who would have been like you could totally if Bakugo hadn't met this kid,
he probably turned into a villain.
He would be I don't know about a villain, but I was gonna say he would have been another Bakugo, someone that like just only looks at people beneath him and kind of less of a team player. But I thought that was
there was like his like famous, I can't remember what is not famous, but like a very like iconic panel in the manga where it's like, we think you're above everybody or like something. I can't remember it.
It's his kind of his line.
Yeah, it's
the line that he says.
The line that he says to the kid.
It has, I don't remember the line for sure, but I remember it had the theme of it, the tone of it had to do with, that if you keep looking down on people that you won't
grow.
You won't notice your own weakness.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah.
Which was done amazing.
Yeah, but like it took them a while to get that whole thing figured out. It was pretty funny watching them all struggle. Like
I know with kids.
Like I don't remember the girl who makes illusions, but she was having trouble with like the bratty girl kids, and I think Todoroki was.
He was just trying to talk to them.
He was I think he was too serious. I think. And then the dude with the air power, which again, as far as we are into the season, I still am having trouble with like the side character names, like from the other schools and stuff like that.
Oh, Anasa? I think that's his name.
The bald dude, he had beef with Todoroki. It was just cool seeing like
he was too forceful.
A new kind of challenge for everybody. But they all got their licenses in the end, and so that was cool.
I thought that was I thought that was a really cute moment with all of them, with all the little kiddos.
It was really sweet. Yeah. And that even leads into like kind of a growth moment right afterwards, because Endeavor shows up after Todoroki. That's when, and kind of tells hey, like just like you touched these kids' hearts, like I think I realized I need to do better at trying to reach society's hearts because I'm having trouble as the new number one.
Yeah, which is why like when he was talking to Omar, like what's it mean to be the symbol? What is the symbol?
Yeah, which becomes like a pretty important question, like at the end of the season, which we'll get into that.
Oh, yes, we will.
Yeah. A little bit after that, this is like a small thing. I thought it was interesting that we got like almost a standalone episode or moment with like the whole like Aoyama and Deku.
Oh, that moment, that was so funny. It kind of helped Deku realize. Oh, God, what did he realize again? It kind of making him realize that like he's not alone or something. like that.
Yeah, there's other people who also have trouble controlling their quirks or feel that their quirk and their body just aren't compatible or something like that. Like it in general, like he had someone approach him and be like, hey, like you're not alone, like I'm going through something too, and yeah, like it was Aoyama is usually like the butt of the joke, like he's always afraid or
if you
hiding.
watch the openings, I think anytime he's on the screen he's like staring you in the eye, like staring at the camera. So I love him. A lot of people don't like him, but I love him.
He's cool overall, but he doesn't usually stand out the same way the other heroes do, I think.
Yeah, like I feel like they could have chosen anybody. Like Horikoshi could have chosen anybody to be that person to tell him that, but he could have chosen Ida, which probably would have made the most sense, or something like that, or like Momo when she had her moment in the first season where she felt like super inadequate and like she wasn't good enough, so she could have been. They could have used her, but no, they used him, and I really enjoyed that part about him. Like it felt like he was growing more as a like.
It was good to see that
as a student and a hero and a friend.
Because I feel like just to kind of tie that up, like I feel so many of his scenes are just like, how can we put Aoyama in like a funny situation, Or
a better situation for him. I'm just glad they didn't choose Mineta.
Mineta is just always bad advice.
He's the butt of the joke.
Yeah. So that was cool to see. Aoyama and Deku become friends, and maybe we could see more like of the peripheral characters in the future. Like the Invisible Girl, I don't know her name very well either, but it would be cool to get more backstory on her. And the dude that has the animal voice, like he's grown up a bit, like he talks more now and stuff. But like, just in general, it would be cool to get more standalone episodes. Not standalone, but more like pair up episodes.
With the kids, I just really want to see them like just flesh out all like the little bitty details about all of them, because in the movie, not any spoilers, but in the movie, everyone got like their moments, their time to shine. They were all useful. They all did their thing and put their quirks together and to beat the bad guys. So I want more of that.
Show too. Yeah, let's see that in the show too. Yeah.
Which what was I gonna say? I don't want to try to spoil it, but you might see that in the recent chapters of My Hero. So something to look forward to.
All right. That's like I said, we want to see it, and so that's good that it's on the horizon. Hopefully,
I hope more.
After that, we have a little bit of a peek at like they kind of I don't know when in the story this happens, but like, at a point earlier they introduced the whole idea that the school's gonna have a festival, and I think it's a little bit after this where it's revealed that they need to finally pick what they're gonna do, and this is where they decide to create the band. Right? This is kind of where that comes out of.
Yeah, they want to decide like what they want to do, because I guess all like every class has a theme. So like
I know Class B was doing the theater play, right? They were the stage play, and some of the other places were doing cafes, and then I think there's obviously the beauty pageants, all these different things.
Yeah,
and so Class 1A, theirs was the live performance, which I was so excited for when the new half of the season started, and we saw in the opening that hey, there's kind of a musical vibe going on to here. Like I was really excited because I love musicals, I love bands, I love school festival arts, and so like it was a mix of all that really cool stuff that I was looking forward to. And so
anybody know a series that has a good school festival art? Please let me know. I would die for that. Ooh, dude, I need some recommendations for that.
I gotta get a list because I love me a good school festival art.
And it also brings like kind of with the Aoyama episode, it brings someone else's time to shine, because someone else also has not a music quirk, but like a sound quirk. Her thing is all about sound, vibrations.
Yeah, Jiro.
And she's all about music. And I'm just like, yes, my girl.
That was the only thing. So the OP is like, hey, we're gonna get hella musical in this. We got a school festival going on, and they showed her a lot in the OP, like writing, and she's just heavily featured. And so, even though she gets like some cool, like we see some flashbacks of her and her parents, and we do get moments with her. I thought we would get more. I thought we would get even more of her.
Oh,
I thought there was gonna be more conflict. Like I feel like I liked the band, and I like how well they leaned into like, oh, she's a really good teacher, and so everyone's like really being able to step up because she, is just that talented. So that was the only thing that I was missing though, was like a little bit of conflict. Like she got over her reluctantness like pretty early. Like I think as soon as they had the idea, she was kind of like, oh wait, I can't do that. And like within that same scene though, she was like, all right, cool, yeah, I'm gonna do it.
All right, I
would like the storyteller in me, like the melodrama.
There wasn't really much of it, yeah.
Yeah, like I would have wanted either something like, okay, I'll help y'all, but like I'm not gonna perform, or like I'll help y'all, but I'm not very good at writing songs, and so maybe I thought, like we see even in the OP, like it looks like she's struggling to write, so I thought that was gonna be like maybe one of the things is like maybe she can write, but she can't. Maybe she can write music, but she can't write lyrics or something like that. I thought there was gonna be at least a little bit of conflict.
Yeah, the only thing that I can remember is when she's like asking Deku, like, how do you organize your notes?
Which that was cool. I was like, oh, that might be the beginning of like, let's, but
I feel like maybe you feel that way because of everyone says that Horikoshi has like a bad habit, I guess you could say, when putting flashbacks during important moments, which kind of brings the drama like down, or like it. What's I'm trying to say? And it takes like a really like high like peak moment, and there's a flashback, and then it goes down. So like there's no real like climax for everything, or what is it? What's that thing called? I'm losing my mind. But whatever. It's just, yeah, he puts them in during really important moments, and it kind of ruins the moment for some people, so I've heard, like for them at least. In the manga, I kind of didn't really notice it, but during this whole season, like during the overhaul arc and now this one, like during the middle of the performance, I'm just like, why are they doing this now? But it probably was during that actual performance. So you might feel that way just because of where it was placed, but that's how,
because the way they put it out,
just the way it was written is just trying to adaptate it like just right, but. Maybe they could have changed it like before.
Was the manga a bit more chronological? Like, did it have like a bit more character background and then?
No, it seemed like it was just as much. It seemed like she did struggle more in the manga when kind of deciding like, oh my god, what are my parents gonna think when I want to be a hero, not a musician? And they're just like, all right, well, you're still right about like, yeah, you can do it. And then she's like, oh, okay, but it felt more. A little bit more, not too much more than the anime compared. Okay. Yeah. I hope that makes sense.
I think I feel it. I think I get it. Like, yeah, like, you know, it
happens way quicker in the anime. To like paraphrase it happens quicker in the anime than it does in the manga.
Okay. Well, again, I'll find out because I think I'll start the manga from this arc just for a good comparison.
Oh yeah, best. Oh yeah. I feel like everyone should continue the anime, or not the anime, the manga from right here, because like it only gets better.
And I thought there would be a lot more like to kind of tie up this little bit. Like I also thought there would be a lot more time with like the band or the class like rehearsing, but a lot of that was kind of like montage, like in little flashes and stuff. Like I thought we'd get more of that. But it almost feels like we just skipped a whole bunch of stuff to get to like, all right, now I would like the long and short of what I'm trying to say is that I was surprised how fast we got to like, okay, it's the day of
yeah, that actually actually happened way quicker. I was like, damn, it's already tomorrow, or it's like today, the morning of. You kind of you see a little bit of it. Like I like the whole Bakugo finally becoming like a team player, thinking that like he's better, like his thinking that he's better than everyone is still somewhat there, but then when it comes to like competition, like that's when he like kicks it in the gear. He's like, all right, we can team up together. And then in the end of it, he actually seemed really like enjoying himself at the end, which I really like.
It seems like he's learning to use other people as part of his own strength.
Oh,
if that makes sense. So I kind of like that. Like he's always like, I'm better than y'all, but if he also has an opportunity to use his fellow classmates to make him better than everyone else. Like,
as bad as that sounds.
He'll do that. Yeah, like it doesn't sound good, but it's still growth.
It's still, we're getting there. So
I'll take it. Yeah. And so it's the day before, and you know they're missing a few items, and so Deku, being the good Samaritan that he is like, hey, I'm gonna go get this stuff, and that is when we finally have that encounter. We have Deku versus Gentle. That was so wild when I saw like that they just accidentally ran into each other in front of that tea shop. That's how that all happened, and I was like, wow, like irony. And just seeing both of them think in their minds, like Gentle is thinking like, oh man, I hope this kid doesn't recognize me, and Deku's thinking like, wait, I think I recognize.
Of course.
Like, and just the suspense of like, are we getting the fight here? What's up? And the fight breaks out. We get to see some of those flashy powers, and it's one of the funniest fights. I love it. Like he keeps like we talked a bit earlier about how funny Gentle's powers are, but he also just has a funny personality in general, in that he keeps kind of almost trying to talk to Deku like, hey, it's win-win. Like, I'm not trying to cause that much trouble. I just want to do my little crime. I'll get in, I'll get out. You get to still do your thing. Like, he's trying to reason with them, and it's just such a funny like fight scene. And I think since the stakes are a little bit lower, like it's just like he's just trying to get in, so it's not like he's trying to kill or kidnap.
It's not serious, yeah.
So you do because of that, you get more actual back and forth between, you know, the two combatants. You know, like there's more chance for them to talk. Like Gentle's talking about what he's trying to get. Deku gets a chance to talk about like, no, there's this girl, she can't smile. I'm trying to show her like how what fun is, and talking about his classmates. We've worked so much for this stuff. Like it was cool to see a bit more opportunity for back and forth, you know, between the two fighters.
That was basically the whole point of this arc. I hated seeing people saying like this isn't needed or whatever, filler. But it's like the whole arc isn't about It's not. I don't feel like it was about. Oh no, fight,
Well,
fight, punch, punch, punch.
Yeah, this isn't Dragon Ball Z. We don't finish a fight just so we can start another one. You know.
That's perfectly how you describe Dragon Ball Z. Oh wow.
You know, like, it's about Deku trying to stand up for something that's important to him. You know, the memories that he's going to have with his classmates and Eri and everyone else and All Might. You know, like, he's standing up for that. You know, and so even though, like, death isn't exactly on the line, it's still a really powerful fight. And and Gento is standing up for his conviction.
There's still stakes.
Yeah, very personal stakes. Though, so,
yeah, everything's basically about personal, which is, like I said, like, I hated everyone said, like, it's not needed. Well, it's all about, to me, it was all about, like, trying to, like, not cure, but, like, fix this girl that has been, like, literally been torn down, ripped apart, and still, like they said in the beginning, like, she's still in Overhaul's grasp, even though he's, like, gone now. And I don't know, that really irritated me. I'm just like, whatever. But, like, every shonen, I feel like, they're not slice of life anime, they're like action, but I don't know. I love slice of life, and I feel like it makes it feel more, I don't know, personal. Like, these are people too, and they got emotions. And everything has a stake, everything has a cause, and I don't know. I loved it. I almost like this part more than the Overhaul season, like, the Overhaul arc. So I'm just like, I don't know, I ain't complaining.
Yeah, no, I really liked it, and then I thought that La Brava's quirk was going to be a bit more tech related because she was helping.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Gentle with all the, like, she helped him with his YouTube channel and she, like, records for him and stuff, and she said she was a hacker, and so I thought maybe, like, you can learn hacking without a quirk, obviously. Yeah. But I thought maybe her quirk helped out her hacking.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Something like that, like maybe she could talk to machines or something like that. I don't know.
Or like she like. I don't know.
And so I thought it was really interesting to see, like that, she finally unveils her power, and the fight gets leveled up. Gento gets even stronger. They have a really big fight, and the minutes are counting down. And luckily, thanks to her name is Hatsune, is the inventor, right?
The inventor?
The inventor that gets Deku the new gauntlets.
Oh, yeah, Hatsune. I think her name is literally Hatsune Miku. Is it Miku?
Well, I don't know.
Is it really? I don't think it's Hatsune something. For some reason, I wanted to say it was.
The inventor girl. Like, thanks to her ingenuity, she got Deku some cool new gear, and so we got to see that show off too, which I got a little bit spoiled on because the gauntlet shows up in the movie.
Oh, yeah, he does have his new hero stuff.
I remember seeing that and being like, wait, what is that? And so I was like, I guess that's going to show up later in the anime. And so that was cool to finally see it show up and be like, oh, here's where it gets introduced and how. And yeah, like, this is also the first fight where Deku gets to use that properly. And
her name is one I always forget, unfortunately.
No, like I'm saying, 4 seasons in, like, it's like, I know Deku, Bakugo, Todoroki, like,
everyone knows the big ones.
I know the main people, but yeah, it was cool seeing, like, him get to use, like, new techniques with the new gear.
I love the scenes of him practicing in the forest with All Might. That was really cool. But then they get caught almost kind of by her. Because, like, it's just them two in the forest, and then she's like, oh, what's up, guys? I'm just practicing my stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Like, she almost stumbles onto them while he's in his weak form, right? Mm-hmm. Or wait, I guess that... Everybody knows what All Might looks like now, right?
Oh, well, they were talking about, like... Well, he was practicing his, like, all-for-one quirk with him.
Okay, so I guess that's what it is. It's not like that she would have stumbled onto, like, what All Might looks like. It's that she would have stumbled onto them talking about one for all.
Yeah.
Or one for all. Yeah.
One for, yeah.
I always got to double check.
I get confused, too.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. I love the idea that it's a mirror, one for all and all for one. But, man, there really should have been, like, just an easier way. I have the power of positivity, and he has the one of negativity. Like, something like just simple like that.
I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like color. Korokoshi doesn't do pairs or like twins. He does like coordinating. Because if you look at Deku and Baku, there's a manga cover of both of them. I think it's like volume 13. It was during the provisional license. They have them standing like literally right next to each other. And you just see how the hero costumes like complement each other so much. So it's like like the negative complements the positive complements the negative, or like they balance each other out. So I don't know. I love that about that's all My Hero's all about is that. So I don't know. I think he's really really good at that. But yes, I do. But I do still get confused with the names. But it's all right.
I'll get there. Reading the names in the manga, that'll help, drive it through. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it helps let you read the names often too.
Yeah. And so I really like that fight, and fortunately it ends with he gives in. He gives up. It's not like he even gets like beat, right? Doesn't he say like, "Hey, the cops are coming," and so
he lets him get it. He lets himself get captured.
Yeah. I think right. It's been a few weeks.
I know, right?
yeah.
Quarantine hours got our minds.
But fortunately, yeah, it ends all well. Well, for Deku anyways, because he can rest assured the festival is not going to be interrupted, and he can go finally reunite with the class, get them the things they need, and have this show. So let's go into the actual performance. The Class 1A show. The song they perform, Heroes 2? Is that what it's called?
I think it's just called Heroes. Is it Heroes 2? I just remember the word Heroes in it.
I think it's Heroes 2, T-O-O.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I was just gonna add really quick, like even Deku, Deku felt really bad for her. I think he tried to like get him out of it or something. Like we're just having a talk or something.
Oh yeah, he tried to. I think you could see like, this dude really isn't trying to. This guy's kind of like, this guy's strong, but he's also not that much of a threat. Like, he's not trying to harm anyone.
Yeah,
so,
he means
like
somewhat no harm, but
he kind of sympathized with them, and he was like, yeah, like, no, we just got in a scuffle or whatever like that. Yeah.
Oh, they kind of didn't they went back and he related to him because he started off as like thinking he couldn't do anything, and then he ends up being like this criminal, which is what Deku originally came from. He being quirkless, and now he's All Might's successor. So that part was really cool as well. It showed him actually sympathizing with a villain for once.
Yeah, I like that he gave him also the win of being like, you know what, like, because at first he's like, hey, like, you're not as strong, like, you're strong, but I've fought way tougher people than you. Mm-hmm. And that was really cool that at the end he was like, you know what, like, you're
pretty tough.
Yeah, you're actually really strong after all. So like, he got like kind of a win, like.
He kind of let him win by saying, I think he said he was like, you're the strongest I've ever fought.
Yeah. So I appreciate that. He let him,
He had to let his own victory.
Yeah.
As he gets arrested, but oh well.
Yeah. Rip, F in the chat.
F's in the chat.
Yeah.
But
yeah, forward. So yeah, we have that performance. What'd you think of the show?
Oh my god.
Because seeing them prep for it, and I was like, I'm sure this is gonna be cool, and we get kind of peeks at it. We get versions of what it could look like in the OP, But to finally see everything unveiled, like the actual costumes they're seeing, the choreography, the actual special effects that they do, like
seeing all that hard work put into that performance, I literally, as soon as it started happening, I started crying. I was legit crying. He can vouch, but oh my god!
It's also set to a really good song too.
The song was amazing. I don't know what that is that they're doing with all these, because I was wondering like, what are they gonna do for the song? What are they gonna do? Because that's the thing with music.
Yeah.
I think music animes or music in general in animes is very slept on, because there's because you don't know what it sounds like in the manga, so it could either be butchered or it could be done really well. Kind of one, for example, is a really popular music anime called Your Lie in April. Where it's just like when you're reading it, like how could people like this so much where like they don't even hear the music because like it's all written. But oh my god, that performance was so good. It was done so well. Seeing those kids happy makes me so happy.
They found another really cool vocalist. Like
they did. I got surprised because like when Jiro sings, like the kids are all like, "Let's hear you sing," and they got Michaela Phillips to do the voice again, I think, for her. Like, to sing.
Was that the same one that did Might Plus You?
Yeah, that was the same girl that did Might Plus You. But in this one, I was kind of surprised that they changed it. Like, I'm not mad. Okay. Like, I loved it, but I don't know why they're adding all these English songs. I'm just like, what?
I think it's just, like, I think English just sounds cool to other people. Like, I don't know if you...
Japan does use a lot of English in their music.
I was going to say, like, kind of like a similar thing, like, here in the U.S., like, a lot of songs will randomly put, like, Spanish words in. And I think it's just because, like the whole Despacito thing.
Oh, like, yeah.
And if you look at back in, like, the early 2000s, like, there was this whole Latin wave of like, Latin American artists who blew up. And so, and you'd see American artists randomly throw in, like, some... like Spanish,
so, some sort
lines.
of like or feature a Spanish artist.
Either feature a Spanish artist, or one of the lyrics will just have like some kind of line,
or like one would be like a
amor or something like that. They'll just throw random like to make it sound cool.
Or like just like duos or collabs with like not just a line, but like this Spanish artist just speaks nothing but Spanish in the song, and then this English artist speaks nothing but English. Kind of like the one that pops into my mind because I literally listened to it not too long ago. Was that what is it? It's called "Promised" by Romeo Santos, the one with Usher.
I don't know.
That one's so good. Oh my god, that one's so good.
I might check that out later. But I get your point though. Like yeah, like and that's what I mean. Like, yeah, like I think English speakers just like the way Spanish sounds, and so we'll do that. You know, we'll bring someone on there, and I think same thing. Like I think maybe I'm assuming that maybe the Japanese just think like, hey, English kind of sounds cool, so let's. I mean, I don't think so, but
well, like what they think is what they think.
So maybe
cool.
They're just like, hey, yeah, like that would be a really cool, interesting thing if we have these English lyrics.
And what we think about Japanese, it sounds way cooler than like things being said in English. So.
I mean, like that. That's why I like watching subbed, because I think the Japanese language sounds, really
cooler
cool.
And like more stern and serious. But
I feel like I get something out of it, and so maybe they think, I don't know, but it's interesting to think about but yeah, to get to the song, yeah, I really liked it. It
was so good.
Very emotional.
You see their hard work really put into that, like seeing Kirishima running through like the beams and pouring all the ice in, and like seeing like everyone's quirk really like put and used into place. It was just
even Invisible Girl, she was doing this weird glowing thing, which like I'm finding out that her power does way more than like what I thought. Like,
oh, what really?
yeah, the Invisible Girl. Like, when they're doing the provisional license exam, the Invisible Girl does a special move where she starts, like, beaming light. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, and
oh, God, I totally forgot about that.
and then in the performance, she starts glowing, like
what?
These weird colors. Like, it's not just, like, glowing white. Like, it's these weird purples and blues and stuff. It kind of, like, yeah, just this weird shine that she starts doing. She's with the special effects team, though, so it makes sense that they would put her with that.
Oh, what? But, I didn't notice that. Dang.
You gotta check it out.
I gotta rewatch it.
Yeah.
Gotta cry again.
It's really cool. So, yeah, and everybody goes all out. I love that, like, Ida's dancing, like, dancing the robot, because he's so stiff. He's a stiff character.
So, everyone gets to either get out of their comfort zone or they get put into, like, a zone that they like.
Yeah, they let Mineta have like
a moment.
He had a spotlight moment where he like.
I don't think that was in the manga. I think either.
He's like looking away from the camera, and then he gets to turn around and kind of give like a like I'm cool kind of.
All these girls next to him presenting like here.
Like they really gave everyone. Like,
we'll give you what you want. Here's your harm.
Yeah, right.
But I love. Oh my god, I love the like. All the, not the people that are just friends with Jiro, or like Bakugo or anything, but all the, like, the dark people like, not the dark people, but like Dokoyami, he's a dark shadow and whatnot.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I loved him in this so much. He, like, cause I play guitar, or like, used to play guitar / trying to get back into it, but like, he would be the type of person that would play guitar, and I feel, I don't know, all these kids just.
It was cool to kind of see like what instrument they got paired up with, to see like if it went well with their personalities.
Like their personalities do mesh well with like playing an instrument or doing like or actually coming out of their comfort zone, like with Ida and the dancing and Mineta having to socialize with others without being
without hitting on
them, being a creep. Yeah, and I just it's just my heart just loved every single thing about it.
It was a good moment, and like I know we talked about this last time that like. I like the covers and you don't really like the covers, but so I've been jamming to different artists on YouTube, like do covers of this song, like in English and Spanish and Japanese.
Oh really? Oh damn.
Yeah.
I didn't know they did other ones.
That's where I think I saw like the title Heroes 2, like from watching these covers.
Oh well, I need to start looking up these covers. Dang it.
People doing their versions of the songs, like it's cool. And Ari, of course, we finally see her.
Oh my
she
God.
smiles, and dude, when you see. So the part that got me like the most is like when Mirio sees that she's smiling and he says like, Deku, do you see her? And he says, Sir Nine-Nine.
Oh,
I was like, no, you can't do this to me. Like, like, are you looking up there? Are you seeing this?
Like, I didn't see anybody talking about that either. I'm just like, how do you forget that? He's like, sir, like, you see this? Oh, yeah. Oh my God. That was the whole point of this concert was to make her smiley, and and like you see like I think you see like Overhaul like this little bird or whatever like release her and like what is it disintegrate and like now she's like a free girl again.
Wait a minute, was that Overhaul?
It should have been like his little bird.
Okay, so if that is Overhaul as a bird letting go of Eri, that is super cool. and I feel really bad because I thought that was Dark Shadow.
What?
I thought Dark Shadow was like picking her up, like, hey, we know this girl, let's have her fun. I thought that was Dark Shadow, like interacting with the crowd.
Oh.
And, like, putting her back. But I'm gonna rewatch, and now I'm definitely gonna start thinking it's like metaphorical, like remnants of Overhaul.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably what it actually was. In my mind, I thought that was Dark Shadow.
Like his actual like shadow, like still hovering over her, like goes away, type of thing.
Oh, okay.
I think all the bright lights kind of like show on her, and she's like,
Mhm.
"Whoa!" And that's when like the overall thing goes away.
That makes way more sense. I was like, that's weird. That like.
Why is Dark Shadow on Aerie?
Yeah, I thought maybe like you know how like some kids like you throw them up in the air or something like that. You know, I thought that's what was kind of going on. I thought he was like lifting people up and throwing them or something. And so I thought he was like putting her back on Mario's shoulders.
That's like
Man,
interesting take though.
What you said makes way more sense. So I gotta check out that scene.
You should. Everyone should.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think they knocked the performance out of the park.
They did well. I'm so glad. The song choice was good. The way it was just done and shown, and like it just felt like an event, like something bigger than like Aerie smiling again was like. Even though like what could be bigger than that, but
I remember. I thought like the moment where Ochako makes everybody just start floating and stuff. That was really cool.
Oh, that was
like
cute.
that was really interesting.
Another
that was
thing.
A really creative.
Oh, sorry.
Quirkies. Yeah.
Oh, like with all the students of like all the other classes making like we're just here to check it out, but then they all like everyone else joins in. Like I love this. I don't care. I'm gonna show them. It was oh my god. I loved class 1A for life, man.
That was a overall great kind of moment.
Mm-hmm.
And
everyone's literally coming together because of the performance, and that's another thing I really loved about it. Yeah. It was such a sweet moment.
And,
wholesome.
You know, speaking of sweet, the only thing sweeter than that is the candy apple that Deku gives Aerie, which was cool and kind of like comes full circle because you see that moment in the OP that they're preparing the candy apple.
Yeah, and everyone's using like their quirks to like heat it up and ice it and cool
which
down.
Which is probably not how it happened in the actual show. You know.
Oh yeah, I get you.
But it's cool. But it's still cool. Like it that we got that payoff that like. In the hospital, she was like, "Oh, I like apples," or she's eating them, and he's like, "Oh, there's this thing. If you come, they're even sweeter." And she's like, "Oh," and when she eats it, she's like, "Oh, it's so sweet."
Yes, I love it.
It's a real healing moment, and so that it was a great way to like
end it, sorta.
Yeah. Like yes, for Deku, so much of this was for his classmates, for his school, for everything like that. But like a big part of it was like saving her. You know,
the whole thing was about just saving this little girl. Yeah. Some people don't like that. They just are like, oh, it's minuscule, but like, no. Everyone wants My Hero to be just action, purely action, but like, My Hero was all based around emotions, feelings, like experiences, personal stuff. Like, I don't know what else they want from My Hero other than like, a bunch of action. But no, that's not how her push rolls.
Yeah, they're like, we just want the My Hero. I'm like, nah, man, you forgot. There's the academia.
You gotta get the academia in there.
Yeah.
That makes. Oh, I love that. Oh, it's so cool.
So that was a nice little tie. We're reaching near the end of the season now. We have the introduction. Well, not the introduction, but we have it is the introduction for a lot of people to these new heroes. In particular, two that have a big spotlight are Hawks and Mirko.
Mirko!
Is it how is it pronounced? Mirko?
So in the translations in the beginning, I always spelled it out whenever I talk about her. It was Miruko. That's how the Japanese like pronounce it. But apparently, I guess to make it easier to read or say, they just shortened it and took out Mirko. So take out the U in the center. It's not Miruko, it's Mirko.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I get what you're saying. So
I don't know why.
There's a 5-second Japanese lesson. Okay.
Sorry about that.
So 5-second Japanese.
There's
lesson.
Your fun fact.
Every consonant is tied to a vowel. So there is no such thing as just an R in Japanese.
Oh.
There's ra, ri, ru, re, ro.
Oh.
So R with A, E, I, O, U. You know.
Oh damn.
And so
that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
Oh, but they don't. It's kind of like I heard in French they don't pronounce like letters. Like they don't pronounce everything 100%, which is why if you do learn French like appropriately or like fluently, you won't really understand if you actually go there, understand what they're saying because they don't enunciate things.
They're leaving off, yeah.
Yeah, so you'll be like, what the heck are they talking about? Or like, I can't understand what they're saying because they're not saying like how, like I was taught, or 100% right or accurate. But, oh wow, I didn't know. I probably learned that a long, long, long time ago. But, oh wow, dang. Yeah, Japanese is hard. Very hard.
Yeah, but it's fun though. I the only reason why I know that because I studied a little bit. But yeah, so Miruko. How did you say you pronounce it? Just one more time.
Mirko.
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 Well, she seems super cool, and the whole internet seems very excited about both her and Hawks.
And they 2,000 late, but that's okay.
Yeah. But yeah, we introduced them because there's the new, what do you think of, the hero board?
It's like the billboard. It's kind of like the billboard charts,
like,
but for heroes.
Which I think is super interesting.
I thought that was awesome.
It happens twice a year, right?
I think. Oh, I didn't remember. I don't remember how often it is.
If I'm remembering, because I remember being super surprised, like, oh wow, that's very frequent. I think, like.
Oh really? Oh dang. Because I remember like the bunny, what is it? The Wild Wild Pussycats. They were like, oh, we haven't done anything in months, and we're still on the chart.
Yeah.
That sounds cool. Oh yeah. What's another thing that's weird is that everything that happens in season 4 is only 3 months after season 3, when it feels like an entire like millennium or something like that. I don't know.
The whole duration of the arc is 3 months?
No, it's like 3, like, you know, the very end of season 3, where Deku and Bakugo fight, basically. Okay, right before, where after they fight and everything. 3 months later, that's when season 4 starts.
Oh, yeah, it does seem like it started like right after.
I don't know, it just seems like too like crazy sudden. Like, it doesn't feel like 3 months has passed. It feels like longer, but it's like only 3 months. Like, so this, like, everything in season 3 happens, and then everything in season 4 happens, almost like right away.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is that like I feel like I get what you're saying, but maybe I'm not. But one more time.
It just sounds like, it just feels really sudden. Everything in season 4, like they would have classes, and then they do like the hero, like, what is it, training with like the institutes or
the other schools,
or no, going with or going with a hero institute, or like with like the shadowing.
Work study.
Yeah, the work study. Yes.
Is it a work study? Yeah.
I think it's called the work studies.
Okay, which is different from the internship.
I think so.
These things they sound very similar.
I know. It's just what's the difference?
I'm gonna call it a work study. Yeah, that's how the whole working for Night Eye kind of thing. Yeah. But I'm getting all turned around and stuff.
Oh no,
let's get back to the heroes. Yeah.
Right.
So back to the heroes here. So yeah, we get introduction to them because there's the hero board is getting rearranged. We're getting the new rankings. So we see Mirko. Where is she then? She's number 3 now.
I think she's 4.
4 or 5.
I think I think she's 5 actually.
Hawks is number 2 now, right? Mm-hmm. And then we get Endeavor. He did make it to number 1 like he's always wanted. But he actually earned this, right? Because he was only number 1 by default, when
after All Might retired, yeah.
Yeah, he was kind of like the technically the number 1. But this was like, it's official, he's number 1. And so it opens up this whole new question about like,
is he really like the newest symbol of peace?
Can he
live up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, can he live up? And so it was 2. I really liked that for 2 reasons, that whole presentation, because 1, we got to meet all these other new heroes that I had never seen before, and also it gets a chance to finally, kind of start getting into Endeavor's psyche a bit, because he's pretty one note for a lot of the early seasons. He's just like, I'm mad at All Might, I want to be number 1, and I'm bad. Obviously there's more to him, but like, I feel like this is like a good moment to kind of like
redeem himself.
Let's start really getting to know this Endeavor dude. And so before we get too much into Endeavor, tell me a bit more about. I'm a bit more on the outskirts with Hawks and Mirko. Like, what's? I feel like everyone's like so hype about them. What are some? Without getting too spoilery, tell me a bit about these characters and like, what is it about them that it seems fans really latch on to?
Oh man, with Hawks, it's just he's like super. Well, he's like the youngest to ever be like on the hero boards. He's like 22.
Oh, okay. They might have said that. I might have missed that. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, he's like the youngest, but he's also just like his attitude. He's like super. how do I do this without spoiling the rest of the manga? He like
let me talk about my impressions then. So again, I have not read the manga, so I'm just getting it from this. And he makes a small cameo in the
movie.
In the movie, but it's not enough to really get a full grasp of them. But like, he seems pretty chill. Like, he definitely wants to do the right thing, but he doesn't want to have the responsibility of actually trying to be some kind of symbol or role model. He just kind of wants to do the right thing, but yeah, without any of the clout, I guess. That comes with it, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think I kind of dig that. Like, I really like that. Like, he seems cool. The only thing is that, like,
he wants Endeavor to like have it all, sort of.
Yeah. But like, I don't know if it's the way his face is designed, but he looks also suspicious. Like, I'm like, you look cool, but I also kind of feel like I would also not be surprised if you turned around on everybody. You know, I'm like, he has a dark side to him.
No spoilers.
He has
No spoilers.
an edge to him. All right. He has kind of an edge to him so far. So,
all right. Okay.
So he looks cool. I like his wings are super nice too.
Oh my god, his character design. That's the thing about My Hero, is just character designs. Everything about him is just like when Horikoshi tries, he tries. Like I don't know. If it's like all fire theme, like Endeavor's gonna be all fire. It's like Hawks is like all Hawks. There's wings. It's like I don't know, something about in like Hawks, that the way he dresses, like that's what a Hawk would wear.
The fluff and stuff reminds me of like aviator jackets.
Yeah, the little what is it, the collars and whatnot.
Yeah.
I think he wears sunglasses. Oh yeah, his like little
the cool goggles.
The goggles, yeah, that too. Yeah. What is it? Pilots would wear. I think.
I guess so.
It almost looks like just to protect from like the wind.
And his quirk, I forget what the official name is, but
I think it's Fierce Wings.
Fierce of Wings?
Fierce Wings.
Fierce Wings. I thought he just had wings, so I find out that he has these feathers that he can control, and they can become weapons for him. They can carry people away.
Like it's like super diverse and like
it's way more versatile than I thought it was gonna be. I thought
he just flies.
I was like, don't get me wrong, that's cool power. Who wouldn't like wings, especially cool red ones like that? But I was like, yeah, he must really be something. If like just having wings, he can like be like a really cool hero. But yeah, he's just also really talented and skilled too. And the wings do way more than just let him fly. So I like seeing that. Tell me more about Mirko. So she looks strong. She kind of has bunny features. Is that part of her costume, or is she part bunny?
She's like,
because we've had characters that are like part Sue. She's like part frog, so she can
So I'm
do
assuming
the tongue thing and stick to things.
Like she can like hop and like jump around like really really fast, but like her legs are like super powerful, so like she can like kick really hard. She's kind of like almost like a Deku / Bakugo with like brute force. But like it's like basically a mix of them, like kicking and punching, but like she's like angry and she's like super tough.
I was gonna say, tell me about her personality, because I think
everyone compares her to Bakugo because like she's super like
she's like that then.
No, she's like super cocky. Well, maybe not cocky, but like she's just like, what is it? Like you'll be out of here if like after I'm through with you or something like that.
Okay.
Like she can definitely like she can beat him up. She can definitely beat up a bad guy or two. But like what is it? Oh, what's the word? What's the phrase? I'm so dumb. I'm blanking on it. She's not all talk. She's got some bark.
She can back it up.
Yeah.
She can back it up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I'm so sorry. I'm blanking right now.
No, that's all cool. So these are two heroes. I mean, we saw plenty, but these are the two that I feel like everyone's the most excited for.
Everyone just really likes, like, she's pretty. She got a one suit or one.
They both pretty. They both
pretty.
Yeah. So both cool designs, both super cool powers, and the fans all seem really excited, and so I'm very excited too. So
One thing that I feel like a lot of people enjoy about Mirko though is that like she doesn't look like all the other heroes. Like she's got a nice tan to her, so like it adds a lot more. Everyone like wants to see like more diversity in anime.
Yeah,
with
for sure.
Like everyone seems to have like their favorite characters are always like the ones with like the deeper complexions. Like like I could see myself as that character. So, which is what I really, really enjoyed with Mirko, because, like, she doesn't, like, her, should I say this? Oh, man, she has a move. Okay. And I'm not going to say the name, but...
Wait, I think I know where you're going with this. Don't say it, but...
I want to, though.
So, the reason why I think I know where you're going with this is because...
did you get some spoiled?
Our mutual friend Kate...
Kate!
Mentioned that Mirko uses very heavily influence of a certain kind of fighting from a certain kind of culture.
Mm-hmm.
Is that's how I will put it lightly.
That makes sense, but it wasn't 100% what I was going with.
Oh, okay, cool.
But it's something similar, but not
Okay.
with the fighting.
Okay.
Sort of. Dang, I want to say it so bad. But, like, there's, like,
If it's not a story tease, if it's not a story spoiler, let's get a little clue here. 'Cause, this is Spoilercast. We've met Mirko,
We've met her. We know who she is. We've met her. Oh, gosh.
So as the manga reader and anime watcher, I will leave it up to you if you want to give a hint at all.
Well, basically, what her moveset is, the names of her movesets. Well, not movesets, but she has an attack that is in Spanish.
Oh, okay, nice.
And it's pretty dang cool. And everyone's saying, like, bro, is she Latina? Do we finally have a Latin character in My Hero? Yeah. Like, that's what everyone's really excited for.
We got in the first half, we got one of the first.
Rock.
What's the name?
I think it's called Rock.
What is?
Wait, no, it's not. What's the name of that character? Oh, Rock. Was it? Oh, gosh damn it. Let me look it up. The black guy?
Yeah.
Well, what was his quirk? Or what was his hero name?
That's what I was trying to remember. I couldn't remember his name. What was it?
Lockdown.
So Lockdown.
Wait, no, it is Rock. Yeah.
You got it right.
Lockdown is his quirk name. But, like, Rock is his actual, like, hero name.
Yeah, so in the first half, we got Rocklock, who is our first black character. I don't want to say African-American, because I don't know if he's African-American. He could be from, that's...
Yeah.
He could be from anywhere. He could be just...
Kind of like Mirko. People think, like, she's not just Latina. They think that she's, like, Afro-Latina.
Yeah,
Which could also be possible.
Yeah, so there's still so much we don't know about these characters, but yeah, we got our first black character, and now we have possibly one of our first brown characters. We'll see if that naming convention is just she likes Spanish, just like All Might uses the name of American states, for his moves, even though he's Japanese. Anything. So there's lots to find out, but I'm excited though, and so just to hear that there's kind of a hint that one of her moves, takes is Spanish, is in Spanish, like hey, let's look forward to that.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
Yeah. So the hero boards finally announces Endeavor as number 1, and it's not even that much longer after that he has to finally fight. That he has to fight, to prove that. And in this fight with the Nomu that shows up.
Oh yeah! Oh my goodness! Yeah, that fight was so cool.
Yeah, the season ends after this whole.
What a way to end the season!
Yeah, the whole board thing happens. Hawks and Endeavor have a meetup, because Hawks wants to talk to him about like the whole hey, I want you to stay number 1, but I want you to earn that number 1, and what starts off as just words turns into well, now I got to put this into action, because the Nomu shows up and we have that big battle, dude, when I saw the buildings crumbling and stuff, dude, it's a pretty brutal battle.
It was intense.
Lives definitely on the line. We're in broad daylight. I feel like with the overhaul arc, so much happened underground,
behind the
and
scenes.
they even when things went above ground, they kind of kept things under control. They even applauded Deku. They're like, oh wow, you're able to do so much and keep damage to a minimum. And so, but this that's all out the window. Shit is just going completely wild. This new Nomu, what were some of the things he could do?
What was it? It regenerated.
So, of course, regenerated.
What did it do? I can't remember. It flew. I think it flew. Because it, flew through, the building.
Did it
work?
work?
No, it climbed around everything. It was just super strong and could, jump from building to building.
Yeah, he's a bit more intelligent, too, because he was talking.
Oh, he could actually talk.
Yeah, he had intelligence. So, the new kind of Nomu, new kind of powers, and, I don't think... And just because it's more intelligent, it was able to do a lot more damage, I think.
Oh yeah, it knows it can probably find weak points to things.
Yeah. And so we got to see, and it really put Endeavor through the ringer. He gets just
annihilated.
Yeah. I mean, obviously this is a spoiler cast, so we know he wins. But everything leading up to the final victory, though, I was really thinking he was going to get put out in that
I think I heard a lot of people...
I didn't expect him to win. I thought he was going to get beat,
I think a lot of... I didn't read it, or I didn't read it as it was coming out, but I remember people saying like, "Yo, manga readers were thinking like, yeah, Endeavor's toast. Like he's done for. Like he's not gonna have that #1 spot for very long." But like, no. Like, I wish I was reading it, like, as it was coming out, mainly because, like, just so I can see, like, whoa, I was not expecting that. But, like, I think, like, someone like you haven't read or started the manga yet, you probably thought the same thing, which, like, where Endeavor is about to die, but no, like, he actually, like, pulled through, which I think probably what also helped people, what helped him redeem himself with people, kind of like with All Might. Like, All Might didn't make it, but, like, so he had to retire, but everything, and people weren't believing in Endeavor, and after he, like, did beat the Nomu, like, people actually thought, like, yo, maybe this guy is the next symbol.
Yeah, which, it's kind of funny, so there's kind of a parallel in this fight with the first fight that we see at the beginning of the series, in that Deku inspired All Might to step into the sludge monster. Like, All Might had run out of all his power. Bakugo was taken over by the sludge monster, and he was like, I can't do anything about it. But Deku running in inspired, him to take action. And that fan that was on the news, didn't he inspire Endeavor, or was that just happening coincidentally at the same time? I
think that did happen at the same time. He was more like inspiring, or like not
inspiring
other people to believe in him. Like, you see him, he's still fighting. Like, you can't give up.
That was still kind of. So it still reminded me, but that action of like a fan, like, inspiring others in general, like, that reminded me of that first scene with Deku, in that it came full circle that, like, one of the first examples of, like, Hawks trying to show, like, Endeavor, like, hey, like, be nice to your fans, like, talk to them, like, be approachable and stuff. Like, he ended up having that kind of nice engagement with one of his fans, right? Didn't he say, like, hey, don't be shy, let's talk? Like,
oh yeah, and then the kid was just like, no, that's not what Endeavor does. He's like rough and tough, and he doesn't talk to anybody. It's the same kid.
Is that this? It is. I thought so. I didn't confirm it, but, like, okay, yeah. So see, like,
that's a good parallel point. I didn't think of that.
So I really liked seeing that. It reminded me of, like, hey, like, this is Endeavor's version of, like, needing to step up. And I in my mind, I thought that he had seen or heard that fan, but I guess I just made that up. But still, like, it's all happening at the same time, so that's probably why it blended for me.
Mm-hmm. No, it's good. But yeah, that was a really cool moment.
But it was very brutal, and dude, when he gets his eye kind of gouged, which I don't know if that's, like, gone forever, or if he has to wear an eye patch or something, or if he gets healed, but, like,
perhaps.
I'm assuming he's gonna get healed. I feel like.
Wait, they got what's her name again? Medical girl.
The nurse lady. I know that's not her name.
The nurse. I think it's called Medical Girl or something like that.
They oh man, hospital lady. I don't know, but
that's the same thing.
There's other healers out and about, so Endeavor will be fine. But yeah, there were definitely moments where I was, like, thinking, like, yeah, dude, it's done.
Yeah, that fight really did live up, like, compared to the manga. It was really good. I loved it.
It was animated so well, like the explosions, the effects, like the destruction, like
people were pointing out, like, it was really dim if you look back at it. Like, certain scenes were not crazy, like, bright, because it's fire, they gotta have, like, everything has to have, like, bright, vivid colors, but, like, a lot of scenes were dimmed down, but, like, people were complaining about that. But I think Japan has, like, a law where
I've heard about that. They have laws, and so sometimes they lower the brightness on things. But I didn't notice that in this fight. I'm not saying it didn't happen. It's just that, like, maybe I was so engaged in the story that I didn't even notice. Like, I was just so.
I probably wouldn't have noticed unless I saw people saying about him. Just like, is it really?
Yeah, I didn't notice people mentioning it, but I
You can thank Pokemon for that.
I was very impressed, though.
Yeah, it was still a phenomenal fight.
By all the fire effects, because that's a really flashy power to have.
I feel like fire is not easy to animate.
Yeah, not at all. Like, it's probably up there with water and smoke and stuff like that. Like, it's almost got a life of its own. It just does its own thing.
And try to make it look smooth and natural as, like, it does move.
Yeah. And so seeing, I forget the name of his attacks, but those were, like, just so... They were, like, on par with, like, what you'd see, like...
Prominence Burn! I think it was called...
Oh, is that what it's called?
Prominence Burn?
The final move?
Yeah, his final, kind of like Final Flash, like, Prominence Burn.
Dude, I was about to say, it was like Dragon Ball Z, like, finisher moves. Like, it was getting really cool. And he takes out the Nomu, and he proves himself, and I was going to say, part of what also helped me think that he was not going to make it was that, like, until that kid spoke up, like, people were really, like, ready to give up. They're like, oh man, no, fuck this. Like, he ain't it. Let's get out of here, and he's lost, and dude, yeah, I started buying into that too.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, that's crazy. They're giving up. Like,
You don't count him out.
I felt for him. I don't like Endeavor.
Oh wow.
It's very hard for me to like forgive the kinds of things that he did. And I know that we're probably going to get a whole bunch of backstory that explains it a bit better or talks about it. I mean, he's obviously said there's hints that he's remorseful because we do get we won't spend too much like on it, but we get like a brief moment where like we see Todoroki's mom and she's like, oh yeah, like I haven't seen him, but like these flowers are here and they're always here, and like he's like one of the only few people that I told about that I like these flowers, so I think he's
he sent them. I think.
Yeah,
I think she said she sent them.
Yeah, so it's complicated, the family dynamics.
That's fair. I'd say that's fair.
And so because he's never straight up been like I've never heard him apologize like on screen,
But I know he definitely still wants to like win over his like family and stuff.
Yeah, like I know he says like, hey, I want to be someone you can be proud of. I want to be a hero that people can look up to and this and that. But he's never straight up said like, hey, that thing that, the way I treated y'all, like, that was not right. He's never said that still. And so that's why I haven't, like, fully forgiven him yet. Like, like I want him to win. If he's in a fight with villains, like, I want him to win. And I think he's a very cool character, but I just don't like him, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's good. Like, one of his things was just when they gave him the mic in the Billboard Hero things was like, just watch me, and I think I think he's more of like actions than more than words person. Yeah. So that's one thing that he's trying to like prove to not only the people but his family that like. That's
a really good point. Yeah, maybe that's why he's never apologized, because he's like, I don't want to say it. Let me just show you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Dang. See, that's why we have these talks.
I know, right?
Show me the new perspective.
It's all about perspective.
Yeah, and that kind of ties up the season.
That's all right.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically, yeah, they ended. Well, did you see the thing after the episode?
I'm trying to think of the stinger, because I know that there was. Remind me what it was, because I know I've seen
it. It was Deku sleeping.
Sleeping? He was just sleeping?
You didn't see after the post-credit scene?
I know I feel like I saw it. What?
Where the window breaks?
The window breaks?
Uh-oh.
Wait, yeah. Okay, it's coming back to me. Yeah, so the stinger is that he's having fill in the gaps for me, but he's having a dream, and the other...
About the other holders of...
The other holders of One for All are there, too.
Yeah, and like, Nana's there.
He's covered up in shadow, and you almost see a reenactment of those original brothers that, All for One giving his power to his brother, right? That's what that scene is?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, gosh, I can't remember that scene, but I don't think it's him giving it to him.
Well, him giving one of the powers to him that created All for One.
Yeah, it's that...
Or One for All, yeah.
Yeah, they are brothers. What's funny is that...
But
you don't see their eyes, which is kind of interesting.
I think there's still... Well...
There's conspiracy theories about that.
There's conspiracy theories, okay. But I was going to ask, do they show their eyes in the manga? Like, I don't know if that scene takes place in the manga, too.
Oh, it does. Like, the whole thing does.
Okay.
The dream.
Okay.
And
is it... Is it the same kind of context? Like, we're just kind of jumping straight into the dream? Like, it just kind of happens out of nowhere?
Yeah, it does. Like, as Deku's, like, still training... Like, he's having... I don't think I could say that. But, like, he's having... Okay. He's, like, working on his quirk, and his quirk isn't responding to him training it, if that makes sense. And that's when I think the dream happens.
All right. I think that's about as spoiler as we'll get,
I hope that doesn't spoil anything.
No. I mean, people know what's up,
I hope they know.
But,
if you haven't, well...
So, that was really interesting, and I want to go back and see those other... designs for the other characters. We've seen Nana Shimura. We've seen her before in flashbacks and stuff. But yeah, I'm really curious what that is. And like, it's only, he's covered in the shadow. Deku's there in the dream, and I think everything from below his eyes down is covered in shadow, right? And
except for his hands,
Yeah, and so
he can't say anything.
So that was weird. He wakes up and like the pressure of All for One or something. I assume that's what it was. Like shatters the glass, and he's just kind of like. Remind me what happens after that, or is that where it just
That's
cuts
where
off?
it ends. That's where it cuts off. Like
Yeah,
One for
yeah.
All is just like it's like lit up in his hands. Like
Oh, that's right. I don't know if I'm imagining things, but you know how he will get these different designs, the red kind of the weird red designs coursing through him,
yeah,
like when he activates full cowling. It looked different, and so I didn't
probably
know
because
if
we
that
never
meant
see it on
something.
his. I don't know. We never see it on his hands. It's always like the X on his face.
Okay, maybe maybe that's what it was. Maybe I was just getting too like tinfoil hat. I was like, oh, the design's different. That means the power's changing or something like that. That's what I
Oh,
was.
okay. No spoilers.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
spoilers.
Oh shit! I'm really excited. All right, we'll use this time. We went through all of some of our coolest moments, and we'll tie it. We'll end the recap with both of us giving our favorite moment, and then after that, I'll ask you, if you want to give any even little bit of hint of what's to come for My Hero.
Okay, I will do my best.
Did you have a favorite moment?
Honestly, after everything that was animated, I honestly want to say the performance was probably my favorite.
Performance.
My favorite
Really?
scene. It just kind of ties in everything. Like the whole reason why they went in for to get overhaul was to get Eri, but like Eri still wasn't like healed. So I don't know. It's like to me, like the whole purpose of the whole season 4 is like all revolves around Eri.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I feel and also personal reasons, just because I love the Class 1A. I love they're my sons, they're my daughters. They're my babies. I just everything about.
I feel like a lot of people feel that way. We're all very proud of these kids.
Just seeing them like be happy. Just for once, after like such a horrible event.
And spread happiness all around the school too.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So I would say that would be my favorite scene.
Yeah. Mine, like that one would have been mine, but I can't stop thinking about the whole Endeavor versus Nomu fight. Like, it was so like, yes, it was animated well. The action was cool. Like the powers of seeing Hawks like really struggle and go all out, and he's like throwing the wings on Endeavor. It's like it was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what makes it stand out as a favorite though is that this is the closest. I mean, it wasn't not long ago that I was mentioning how I don't really like Endeavor and all the things he's done, but this is the closest I've ever gotten to really starting to understand him.
And like him, He seemed like likable for once.
We get moments of his vulnerability, like when All Might retires, and so he's trashed his gym or his office or whatever like that. Like he seems tortured,
Mm-hmm.
And we get little hints of that throughout the season, but this is like the most we get with like his internal thinking, and so pair that with all that cool action and stuff. Like it was just anime as fuck. So
anime as fuck.
Yeah,
anime bullshit.
So that was one of my favorite moments, probably. Like that was like a really cool way to end it.
Also, that's a really great way to end this season.
Wow. So those are some favorite moments. Then let's take this time if you want to give any slight non-spoiler clues, teases.
It's so different. Just expect it's so.
Are we looking for more fun times? A little bit more darker? We're getting
dark. We're getting more in depth with like the villains.
Okay. I was about to ask. I was going to say, like, are we more Deku-centric or do we get more of the whole class? But you're saying it is more of a villains kind of focus, huh?
Mm-hmm. We'll definitely see way more of the villains. Way more.
All right, man.
I want to say more, but I can't.
All right. So no more clues after that?
No more what?
No more clues after that? Are we going to see... Can you at least say, will we see more of Hawks and Mirko? Or is this the only kind of bit we'll kind of see them for a while?
Well, we won't. I don't think we're going to see them for a while.
Okay, this was introducing them for maybe stuff that happens much later?
This is, we'll see them... Oh, wow. We won't see them for, like, a while. We won't see them probably another season and a half.
Okay, but it made sense to kind of at least show them off here?
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, they'll introduce a really cool hero, but, like, totally not do anything with him for a while, and then bring him back.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing with the side heroes, unfortunately.
Right. Well,
but I think we will get to see Hawk some more, and which doesn't make sense when I say it's mainly centered around the villains, but you'll understand.
Okay, all right. Well, I think that's all the teasing and stuff we can do for right now. Thanks for sharing that little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna be using. I don't know when My Hero's coming back. I just know it's on break. I don't know if it's a long break or short break.
Yeah, nothing's been confirmed about when. We won't know for months.
So we can at least say that it's not like the spring season, though. It's not starting up like the next week or the week after that. It's probably gonna be much later than right.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I feel like it won't. I don't know when next year. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, but that's
probably longer.
Well, Well, I'm gonna definitely use this time. I'm gonna finally, jump into the manga. Not from the beginning. I'm just gonna pick up. Like I said, I think I'm gonna reread the school festival arc in the manga, and then keep going after that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Good choice. I highly recommend that.
nice. Do you want to use this chance to give maybe a pitch of like why people might need to check out the manga?
It's just the not just the manga, but like reading. Like I said in the last one, read the official release because I don't know. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like I read the scans. Like I read it for free.
Fair enough. Yeah, sometimes you got to.
I read it for free, and I was.
Yeah.
And
I picked up the Shonen. Wait, is My Hero on the Shonen Jump app?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, so I got the Shonen Jump app, so I can jump in it through that.
Mm-hmm. And the reason why I say that is just because I would compare, because I had the Shonen Jump app, and I would like go back to the scans, and I was just like, this sounds different. And if you compare the scans to the official release, they're horrible. They ruin moments that are like really like little tidbits of like All Might and Deku's relationship. I'm just like, oh my god, I would have been pissed if I had read it like that.
So clear this up. So you're saying that the scans are better, or
the scans are horrible? Release? No, do not read the scans.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Do not read the scans. Yeah. Please support the official release because.
Okay, okay. I got a little confused. I was like, wait.
What? Oh no! Do not read the scans. Do not read the scans. Just it just ruins like whole like emotional moments that like are supposed to be impactful and like meaningful, but like it just takes some. I don't know who's translating them, but they're not doing a great job.
Non-official people.
Not official people.
So it sounds like the place to be is the official release. You can check that out on the Shonen Jump app. And
$1.99 a month.
So I'm really looking forward to the next arc. It's got to be exciting if you can't give more clues.
I can't. I want to, but it's hard.
So that means it's got to be packed of really cool stuff. I'm never like done learning more about these villains too. So I'm looking forward to seeing more from them. And yeah. With that, I just want to thank you again for joining me for more My Hero Talk. Tell everybody where they can find you again.
Oh, y'all can find me on tortilla_senpai on Twitter, and you can also find me the same at tortilla_senpai on Twitch, which is definitely popping right now because quarantine hours.
Yeah, go check out the Animal Crossing, Final Fantasy, all that good jazz.
We on that Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 7 remake. 3 days.
Yeah.
Woo!
Thanks again for dropping by for this episode, and we'll see you on the next one.
We'll catch you
later.
We'll
see you on another one.
I'll see you on another one. Hopefully another one.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe a manga-based one. Who knows?
Yeah, manga hours.
Manga hours?
Manga hours. Yeah.
All right, bet.
Alrighty.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks again. Again, thank you so much, Tortilla Senpai, for that interview. It was a lot of fun. Again, she dropped the link, but I'm going to drop it again. You can follow her on Twitter, on Twitch, playing some cool games, and just talking great My Hero stuff. If you want to talk about My Hero, you want to talk about anime, go find her there on her socials. And honestly, that's it for this episode. This was my first season, my first successful season as a podcast host. Recording the Anime Pod has been a lot of fun, and I don't know why I'm sounding like it's going off the air, because we'll be back again when the spring starts, which is like I said, it's already started. I'm getting my shows ready, and I think for the first topic of the week for the spring is going to be just kind of a rundown of the shows that are on my radar, and we'll try to get a guest on here if anyone else wants to talk about the kind of shows that they're looking forward to in the spring. Because winter is over, winter came, it's gone, time for spring, and some shows I think are being affected by the coronavirus that I mentioned earlier in the show, but there are going to be a lot of great things to check out while we're sheltering in place. And yeah, you have this show here so that we can talk about it, share our thoughts, just geek out about anime, and just want to thank you all again for listening in. And with that, I will go ahead and start queuing us out. Thank you again, Grimecraft, for your track, Lonely Rolling Star remix, in cooperation with Game Chops. And he also just dropped a new album. Go check out Grimecraft on Twitter at Grimecraft, and you'll find all of that. Or just go straight to Spotify and check out the new Just in Time for Final Fantasy VII release. He's got Mega Ran on there as a feature, and just really cool remixes. So I just want to say thanks again, Grimecraft. I think it's the perfect song to go with this show. And again, I will catch you all next time. Bye.